I've spent the whole morning researching about Jeff's case, may he rest in peace. And there are notable incidences that I've collected from the data I've gotten. And I want you to come along with me because the math is not mathing. So I've written everything down because I need to understand this situation because the math is still not mathing, okay? So we have 3:27 in the AM. Who arrives at Fatso's apartment? We have Fatso himself, we have Jeff, we have the cousin, we have the driver and 3 ladies. Sawa. Higher. And then at 4:48 in the AM, Fatso and the 3 ladies leave. Now, I have several questions here. What happened here? Because we've seen a video of Jeff inside the apartment, taking, the surroundings inside the apartment, which is also a question we need to consider in this case. Sawa. We also need to know whether Jeff was alive by the time Fatso and the 3 ladies were leaving. So that is an unknown. We don't know in this case. Sawa. Higher. We have 4:48 AM. 4:48 AM, Fatso leaves, the 3 ladies leave, okay? So apparently Fatso was dropping off these 3 ladies. Yeah. So we have Jeff plus the driver plus the cousin who are now remaining inside the house. Jeff, at this point, we don't know whether Jeff is alive or dead. I want you to keep that in mind, okay? We don't know whether Jeff is alive or dead. Now, 52 minutes later, that is 5:40 in the AM, 5:40 in the AM, the cousin and the driver are seen looking around. This looking around will relate to a point later on, but meanwhile, the cousin opens a toilet and then he makes a phone call for several seconds. Now, who was he calling? Who was he calling? Another point in the case, this 52 minutes, what happened also? Kwa hizi 52 minutes. Ni nini ilifanyika hapa? Sawa. Now, 7 minutes later, that is 5:47 in the AM, a body flies down. Sawa. It flies down where? The exact place whereby the cousin and the driver were looking around. Sawa. Put that in mind, okay? Now, the pants had been drawn to the knees, which is a question of the day. Could have been a case of sodomy. We don't know. Now, the face was up. Now, I've written here reflex, okay? Sorry for the messy handwriting. Now, reflexes, for those who know biology, for those who did biology, you remember a thing about reflexes, So when you're falling, your body will tend to turn so that you can have a visual of where you're falling. Why was the face up? And the face being up, so meaning the contents of the head spilled out. Sawa. 2 minutes later, that is 5:49 in the AM, we have the cousin and the driver going live, I'm a live streaming. I don't know who was playing a guitar. That is what we call an alibi. But then, 2 minutes later, if at all this was a case of suicide, okay? If at all Jeff had killed himself, sawa. In 2 minutes, watu wangekuwa wanaangalia from the window to check what is happening. Sawa. Ama they will have at least try to see what is happening. Because I'm assuming by the time someone falls, there's noise, there's sound, okay? Which does not make sense. Now, minutes after 9 AM, we have Fatso returning. He comes back to his apartment. So he looks at the body and then he goes to his house. Apparently, some witnesses were saying that he was not remorseful. He had no shock in his face, which is another point in this case that needs to be investigated, okay? Now, here we are working with hypothesis, okay? And we have various unknowns in this case. Number 1, what happened between 3:27 AM and 4:48 AM? What happened hapa katikati? We need to know. Number 2, when Fatso and the 3 ladies, sorry for that, were leaving at 4:48 AM, was Jeff alive? If at all he was alive, what state was he in? Was he sober? Was he intoxicated? We need to know. Okay, if he was not alive, that makes Fatso and the 3 ladies suspects together with the driver and the cousin. So it means all of them are involved in the case. That is, if at all, Jeff was dead by the time Fatso and the 3 ladies were leaving. Okay, now let's continue. If at all Jeff was alive when Fatso and the 3 ladies were leaving, what happened in these 52 minutes between Jeff, the driver, and the cousin? Okay, what happened hapa katikati? Now at 5:40 AM, what was it that the cousin and the driver were looking around for? Okay, why were they looking around? Why did the cousin open a toilet? Who was this who was being called at 5:40 in the AM prior to the body flying down? Nani alikuwa anapigiwa by the cousin? Okay, that is a hypothesis we also need that needs to be tested more or less. The truth needs to come out. Okay, now at 5:47 AM, we see the body flying down. From the reports given from the management of the apartment complex, no window was open at that time. So how fast did they manage to fly the body down and close the window? Okay. Number 2, pants to knees. Is this a case of sodomy that we don't know? Was Jeff sodomized before he died? That is one thing we also need to know. The face was up. Back to the thing about reflexes. Why was Jeff's face up? Which brings us to this point of, was Jeff alive by the time he was flying down? Moving on swiftly, let's go to 5:49 in the AM, okay? 5:49 in the AM, the cousin and the driver live stream, which is clearly an alibi, okay? If at all it was a case of suicide, you want to tell me there was no noise? Noise was not a variable in this case. Because if at all someone had fallen, there had to be noise, whereby these two will come and check, Allah, what is going on, okay? Another thing, when the management said, when the body was falling down, no window was open, how fast was the window closed by a dying man who was committing suicide? So there's a point I did not add. At 6 a.m., the management of the apartment complex came knocking around people's doors, inquiring about the situation, okay? I want you to keep in mind these people are live streaming at 5:49 in the AM. So by the time these people are knocking the door at 6 a.m., the cousin and the driver were dead asleep. People who are live streaming 11 minutes ago. Okay. Now, let's go to minutes after 9 a.m. Fatso comes back. Can we have a detailed explanation of where Fatso was with evidence? He looks at the body, and some of the people say he did not have remorse, he was not shocked. Which brings me back to this point. What happened here? By the time Fatso was leaving, was Jeff alive? Why did the police mark it as a suicide? I'm praying Jeff gets the justice he deserves. However, from this case, we have more questions than answers. So many of you sent me videos concerning Jeff's issues. I took the time yesterday night. I analyzed the videos. I took some notes, which I'm also going to take you through. Now, at the end of the video, I'm going to attach the screenshots that were anonymously sent to me via Instagram. The person who sent them to me did not have a username, did not have a profile picture, so I don't know who they are. I'm going to attach the detailed CCTV screenshots at the end of the video. Some of the information I also got from Mwangi Muthiora's page on Facebook. Yeah, I think those are my two sources of information, and plus some of the videos you guys made on TikTok about the issue, okay? So meanwhile, let's go through the girlfriend's account, okay? Just to remind you guys, this is a CCTV account from the screenshots I got from this anonymous tipper. Now, let's continue to the girlfriend's account, okay? This is the girlfriend's account. I'm going to mention the YouTube page up here so that you can go and watch the video. But this is on 22nd of February, okay? I'm going to explain why I think it is 22nd of February. So, yeah, let's dig into it. Now, this is happening 2 p.m. on the day that Jeff was found dead, okay? So, Mutanu calls the fiancé and asks her the following questions. Has she seen Jeff? And did Jeff go home? Very peculiar considering Mutanu was hanging out with Jeff the previous night. Number 2, why will she call the fiancé to ask these questions? Guilt, if you ask me. Guilt, if you ask me. So, the fiancé responds to her and tells her, and that is Mutanu, tells her that where Jeff is off. And if at all Jeff wanted to get to the girlfriend, he would have found another phone and called her. Okay? So, Mutanu also tells the girlfriend that DJ Fatso aliuliza whether Samido is Jeff's uncle, which Mutanu responded to DJ Fatso, sorry for that, akamwambia yes, Samido is Jeff's uncle, okay? Now, this is where the tea is getting hotter. So, Mutanu says that DJ Fatso alimwambia ati Jeff alikunywa sana, akaleta scandal, which is a whole issue on itself, and I'm going to explain why in a few, okay? So, she also says that DJ Fatso aliamka asubuhi 7 a.m. kuenda studio. Now, my question is, 7 a.m., you're going to see why I have an issue with the timings, okay? 7 a.m. kwenda studio, akarudi kwa nyumba 11 a.m. This is another issue in this case. The time is off, okay? So he says, waliacha Jeff at 7 a.m. akiwa amelala. Jeff mgani alikuwa amelala 7 a.m. and he was found dead at 5:50 in the morning. So which Jeff is this? So far, I hope you guys are seeing the discrepancies in time, which I'm going to explain later on, okay? So, the girlfriend asks Mutanu whether they have checked the CCTV. What does Mutanu say? Mutanu amesema wameangalia CCTV atampigia in 20 minutes, okay? So all this time the girlfriend is so stressed, akashinda akipigia Mutanu. Mutanu anambia they have not received information, they have not received information etc. So the girlfriend decides at around 3 p.m. kuomba ruhusa. Now I want you to mark the time. This is 3 p.m. of 22nd February, okay? Moving on swiftly. Haya, the girlfriend juu aliona hapa kuna kaish akapigia bro Jeff akamshow nini, go and confirm whether he is at home. If not, kindly get back to me. Now, Jeff's bro comes back and tells Nani, the girlfriend, that Jeff hayuko nyumbani. Jeff is not at home, okay? So, the girlfriend calls Mutanu again. Now, I want you to notice what the CCTV findings, according to Mutanu, say. Now, Mutanu tells the girlfriend that he aliva slippers na akaacha viatu. So, the second time, akabadilisha story, akasema aliva slippers, akaacha viatu na jacket. So, hii jacket, it was left for the first account, okay? Haya. Another thing that's arising from whatever Mutanu is saying, ati huwezi toka kwa hiyo building bila fingerprint ama mtu anakujua. So, huyu alivaa slippers akaenda wapi? Huwezi toka kama huna fingerprint. So, huyu Jeff, this Jeff who is being said ati aliachwa 7 a.m. amelala, alivaa slippers akaenda wapi? Which is a discrepancy in this case, okay? Ati ikasemekana ati alikuwa ameenda rooftop labda kuzimia huko, which is a whole issue because remember when DJ Fatso was saying ati alimwambia amekunywa sana akaanza kuleta shida akiclaim ati Samido ni uncle yake. I'm coming to that in a few. Hiya, moving on swiftly. The fiancé says that Jeff is not a user of drugs, okay? Keep that in mind. So ni commotion gani hii ilikosiwa hapa? Sorry for that. Ni commotion gani ilikosiwa hapa ati alikunywa sana? If Jeff is not a user of drugs, which commotion was this? Hii ni commotion gani yo? Okay, let's continue with Mutano's account because so far the math is not mathing. Okay? So ati labda alienda kwa mabeshi wake wagani. Jeff was brought to this complex because of the business they had with who? DJ FAXTO. Okay, put that in mind. So the time of this call was 2 p.m. That is between the girlfriend and Mutanu. And the girlfriend left work at 3 p.m. Okay? I want you to keep this in mind. Okay? Mwili ilipatikana 5:50 a.m. Now, ni Jeff mgani aliachwa amelala 7 a.m.? Ikiwa mwili ilipatikana 5:50 a.m., ni Jeff mgani yule alikuwa ameachwa amelala 7 a.m.? Haya, another discrepancy. Moving on swiftly. So let's reevaluate the relationship, okay? So Mutanu and Jeff had been friends for quite some time. It's even said they had worked on a shop together, I think in 2019, 2020, according to what I remember or recollect. And then Mutanu and DJ FAXTO were close, okay? So what is connecting Jeff and DJ FAXTO? Jeff and DJ FAXTO are connecting because of work. Hi, moving on. Let's continue with this account of Tanu, okay? So still on Tanu, Jeff aliachwa peke yake. So where did the cousin and the driver go? Because kwa CCTV inaonekana waliingia kwa nyumba. So where did the cousin and the driver go? Discrepancy, tuendelee. Ati wameenda kuandikisha. So still on call with Tanu, she tells the girlfriend wameenda kuandikisha statement ati Jeff anatafutwa. Jeff anatafutwa na alikufa 5:50 a.m. Moving on swiftly. So nimeandika venue duka ya Mutanu because from what I understand, Mutanu was calling from her shop. Okay? Hi, let's moving on. So what happened after the family found out? Okay? This is according still to the girlfriend. Okay? Mutanu calls the girlfriend. Alibi number 2. Put that in mind. Okay? Akamwambia 2019 Jeff was suicidal, which the girlfriend disagrees because 2019 anasema that is when Nani was clearing his form 4 etc. And was saying Jeff has always been happy, hajai kuwa mtu suicidal. Then Mutanu calls and the story changes and she says in 2020 he was also suicidal. Bro, okay, I hope you're seeing between the lines. Let's read between the lines. Let's continue. Okay, so at around 3:46 a.m. Jeff sent a video to his girlfriend about ile video yenye mliona ya nyumba etc. It could be a case of intuition. Labda alituma because his intuition was telling him to, okay? So when the girlfriend tried calling at 6 a.m., the phone was off. Put that in mind, okay? The phone was damn off. So DJ FAXTO and Samido are friends. So she's not understanding the, what is it called? Sorry for that. Yeah, I'm back. So she does not understand the motive behind DJ FAXTO wanting to hide the murder of Jeff. Because they are friends with Samido, apparently, okay? Which will bring us to that question of why FAXTO was asking whether Samido is Nani's uncle. That is a very huge question, okay? So according to the girlfriend still, anasema around 3 p.m., like when she was leaving work, she decided to call DJ FAXTO. And DJ FAXTO answered her very rudely and says, polisi watawapigia mwache kunisumbua. Haya, put that in mind. This is a CCTV account from the screenshots that were sent my way. And this here is the girlfriend's account from the interview on YouTube, okay? I want us to mark the discrepancies. Moja tukisonga, okay? Time is a discrepancy because if the body was flying down at 5:47 a.m., it means Jeff was dead. Who Jeff for 7 a.m. ni nani huyu? Sorry for that. Who is this Jeff who was left sleeping at 7 in the a.m.? High discrepancy number 2. DJ FAXTO alirudi kwake 11 a.m. According to CCTV footages, alirudi 9 a.m. Discrepancy. Haya, moving on swiftly. Hapa anasema ati DJ FAXTO alitoka kwenda studio. According to the CCTV, DJ FAXTO alikuwa ametoka kusindikisha these 3 ladies, Tanu being one of them. Okay. Now I want you to keep in mind, we have not yet included the mother's account of what happened that day. We have not yet included that account. So, if already these stories are conflicting, zikiwa mbili hivyo, what if we add the mothers on top, okay? Okay, from what I saw on Nairobi Gossip, so apparently DJ FAXTO is cooperating with the detectives on the case. And yeah, DCI has now been involved in this case, which has taken them too damn long. Okay, now meanwhile, find the screenshots that I got anonymously attached.